this is going to be a little bit of a different video. YouTube channel Hex and Ren Sport asked folks to kind of explain how they got into motorsport or racing, their interest beginning, that is. And I always have grand designs for these kinds of things, and I never end up being as articulate as I would like to be. So, you know, rather than letting perfect be the enemy of the we're just gonna go YOLO. My interest in cars kind of started off the way my interest in many things did. As a younger kid, I'd be tasked with learning something, and just, you know, internet was not as big back then as it is now, so I would just load up on magazines. This first happened when my parents wanted to get a new computer, and I was the one in the house that was the most into computers. So, we needed a Mac because that's what educators had back in the 90s, and got a subscription to Macworld, and I read and read and read, and yeah, that's how my interest in computers started. That's a different story. But turning around the time I was 16, the hint was dropped to me that I might get some help with a car if I decided, you know, what kind of car I wanted. So I started looking at, I'd pick up the Thrifty Nickel pages and leaf through what was available. I started getting various magazines at the gas station down the street from my house. Ones I remember were Hot Rod, Mustangs and Fast Forwards, and there were some import magazines too. But I think I really wanted, like, realistically in my head, like I was thinking, oh, if I can get a 85 Corvette, you know, that'd be pretty cool. But, you know, because the budgetary things, but that was a pretty old car at the time, and, you know, reading more about them, those were the ones with the lousy crossfire injection, but they had the weird 4+3 transmission, which may have been cool. I don't know. But I think I kind of wanted a Fox body Mustang. I thought those were cool. I still think those are kind of cool, although now they're harder to come by. And I'm getting a little off track. Eventually, I ended up getting a 91 Eagle Talon. I thought the later first gen ones without the pop-up headlights were cooler, but mine had it. And I see if I can find a photo album that has a picture of my particular one. If I can't, we'll just find one with the same paint scheme on the internet. But yeah, so then I started reading more import magazines because, you know, hey, that's what Eagle Talon is. It's a Mitsubishi Eclipse in other clothing. So most of my income during high school went into go fast parts for that car. You know, big old exhaust, high flow cat, underdrive pulleys, all that kind of stuff. I subscribed to a listserv, for those of you out there who still remember what those are, where it was the Diamond Star Motors listserv, and there were two kind of competing parts companies that kind of were on this listserv, and like people kind of fell into one of two camps, if my memory serves correctly. And they were trying to get, you know, everybody's trying to get their way down to the faster quarter mile times to show that their parts were better and whatnot. And people were making like hacked EPROMs for the ECU, all this fun stuff on the listserv. I like, it came out once. You got it in your email once a week, and basically you could write in like a forum, kind of, but not really. But that was super exciting, and I bet whatever email account that is probably still, yeah, they can't still be active. But yeah, eventually at some point, somebody on that listserv said, hey, there's this new game coming out called Gran Turismo, and our car's gonna be in it. It wasn't my car, it was the second generation Eclipse, Eclipse. But hey, that was exciting, and that got me to spend some of my money that I was making at my high school job on a what was at the time massive, probably 32-inch TV, I'm guessing. Um, and a PlayStation, which I hadn't had at that point. I was at that point, I think I had like some sort of Pentium 133 compact or something like that. But yeah, so I got a PlayStation. The only game I had for a while was Gran Turismo. I think I may have gotten Metal Gear at some point. No, I know I got Metal Gear at some point too. Those are the two main games I had for my PlayStation. Most of my time was spent playing Gran Turismo, and that widened my eyes to more cars that we didn't have here in the States that were pretty cool, like the Subaru WRX and Nissan GTR. But at some point along there too, I caught on ESPN or ESPN2 late at night. I caught the Pikes Peak International Hill Climb. I'm like, oh, this is amazing. What is this? They're driving these crazy cars so fast up this mountain. And I watched that for a while, and it was just, to me, it was nuts. All the different classes that they had in this thing. I didn't really understand them as classes as such at the time, but they were racing semi tractor tractors up the mountain, and then I think it was Rod Millen in this crazy Toyota. And then I the internet at this point was, you had web pages back then. I did some reading up on it, and tickets to this thing were not unreasonable. And it's getting to be the end of high school, and hey, buddies, senior trip, let's go to Colorado and watch this thing. So in 1999, my friends and I, in that summer after high school, we went and we watched the International Hill Climb, which is pretty cool. Some other stuff. I think nobody in my family is super into motorsport. I don't think. A little bit. My dad likes cars quite a bit. He would tell me stories about his Thunderbird, or will tell me stories. Does tell me stories about his Thunderbird and Corvette that he had. Someday we'll get him another one, but so I have a fondness for Corvettes and whatnot. But to me, like, I never really got into following like specific drivers or teams or anything like that. It's always been more like the machines and the engineering that goes into them. Like, while just early internet searches, I found some site that gave the history of Porsches while I was researching cars. Like, maybe a 924 turbo could have fit in that thing, in those wild dreams kind of times. Again, those were cars that were like probably too old. It would have been a nightmare maintenance wise, but reading up on them, I also ended up reading up about the Porsche 917 and how crazy that thing was with all its various iterations up to the Trans Am version, which was like, what, 1200 horsepower or something crazy. Then also reading about the Porsche 959. There was a rally Porsche, because rally was really cool. It is really cool. But me being into that Pikes Peak at the time, rally, what's WRC? What's this? Why can't I watch this here? So, and then early in college, like probably around, I'm guessing, maybe 2000. My dad, some of his church friends had they would go to the Indy 500 every year, and he must have asked them if they had some extra tickets or could get some extra tickets. So we went with them to the Indy 500, and that was exciting. I don't know that oval races are the best for like viewing in person, because you just see that one section of the track the whole time, but it was exciting. It was fun to bond with my dad over that trip. But yeah, then, like, you know, the Talon died in high school. I ended up in a pretty bad wreck in it, but we resurrected it. Somebody else in my small town had a first gen Eclipse that they blew the engine in it. So we took the engine and most of the Go Fast parts I'd put on it and transferred those into the Eclipse. So I had that for a while, and I still kind of was in like kept up with cars and that kind of stuff. But at some point, you know, that Eclipse, the water pump died on it, and it was just long in the tooth for maintenance and whatnot. And I got an Explorer, and I kind of fell off things for a while. I'd still pick up the newer Gran Turismos, and then eventually at some point I switched over to Forza Motorsport. And I kind of fell off all things motorsport for a while there, and then I don't know. At some point, the Horizon games kind of started coming out, and those are kind of goofy fun. And then, you know, I'm wanting to get more into multiplayer, and that brought me over here to iRacing, and here we are with me trying to get good at driving a car fast. Trying to think if there's anything. Oh yeah, I wanted, like, when I had the Talon and had all the Go Fast parts on it, I did want to go to the local drag strip and drive it, but I never got up the courage to actually talk to people and figure out how to do that. I think we drove and tried to find the entrance to the drag strip in Scribner at one point, but I think I could have asked people enough, but I was too shy and not super ready to go ask folks for directions on hey, how do I have fun with you guys? And if anything, if you can get anything from this video, you know, it's people are super passionate about their hobbies. If you're interested in their hobby and you start asking them questions about it, they will tell you. They will try and help you get joined up with it. So don't be afraid to ask if you see somebody doing something really cool and you want to do it too. Ask them about it, and usually they will be pretty open and trying to help you get started. Just be respectful of folks' time, I guess, is the only thing. But yeah, Hexen's video is going to be linked down in the description below. And if you have, you know, your own story about this, go ahead and either post the answer in the comments of his video, or make your own video and post a link down in the comments below. Till next time, folks, be nice to each other. We'll see you later. Bye. 3 ways I ended this. Man, I'm getting the hang of this.